Hey everybody. Well, got quite a bit more work done on the Bearcat. Well, I guess not a lot of work done, just kind of a one major step has been completed. The wing is almost completely finished. Um, Everything is hinged. Yeah, the ailerons and flaps are hinged. They're on there permanently now. Gear is installed. Not planning on taking it out again. Uh, yeah, everything turned out pretty well. As you can see, the aluminum paint really shows off the effects of the panel lines that were put on, and it turned out pretty well. I mean, considering what we're working on here, it turned out pretty well. I wanted to get the servos and everything installed because after 2 years, COVID finally got me. So I've been at home for a while. No big deal. I've had worse side effects from eating Taco Bell. Although, according to CNN, I'm in the hospital right now on life support. So keep me in your thoughts. But no, on a serious note, I'm doing just fine. Almost over it. No big deal. So I was kind of hoping to get more work done on it because I've been at home for a while. But last Saturday, I painted the wing, and I had some issues with the paint on the top of the wing. And what had happened is I put it on too heavy, and it left streaks. Um, don't know what I was thinking. It was entirely my fault. So I had to let the wing sit for at least 3 or 4 days to make sure that it gets good and cured before I top coat it again. Um, so yeah, I painted it yesterday, or should I say, repainted it yesterday, and yeah, it turned out really well. So if anybody's going to be using this paint, hang on a minute. Let's see here. There we are. So this is the paint that I use right here. It's the Duplicolor engine paint. It's a ceramic base paint. Boom, right there. This paint does not go on like your, you know, everyday, like a Rust-Oleum 2X. It does not paint the same. When you spray this Duplicolor on there, if you have the can nice and close, and when you're spraying it and it's leaving a nice wet kind of come on, focus. What the hell's going on here? There we go. And it leaves a nice wet, coat of paint. That's not what you want. If you do that, it'll leave the streaks, and it'll kind of be blotchy, and you just don't want to do that. So the best way to spray this paint, and I don't know why I didn't do the top of the wing this way. Like I said, it was 100% my fault. When you're spraying it down, keep the can about, the can even says keep it 8 to 10 inches away from the surface. But I spray at a 45-degree angle, and I start at one side and I work my way back. So as I'm adding more paint moving this way, I'm getting, more overspray on what I previously did. And you kind of do it quickly, and it looks like powder coat. It goes on just like powder coat. It almost looks like it's like a metallic-y sand looking type affair. And that's the way you want it. You don't want it to be on there wet and heavy. So just food for thought if anybody's curious on using this Duplicolor paint. But other than that, as you can see, it recoated absolutely beautiful. The reason I didn't do any more work to it as far as getting servos installed or anything like that is because I was not sure how successful the recoat was going to be. Because if there would have been a reaction and the paint started lifting or cracking, you would not be watching this video. This thing would be in Bearcat heaven right now. So, but it all went well. Recoated extremely well. Very pleased. For an old airplane, I tell you, it's looking like it's going to be pretty sharp when it's done. Kind of getting concerned about the weight. This thing is going to be heavy. There's no servos in it right now. Just the airplane and retracts were at 20 pounds. So, I mean, it's not out of the norm. Many of the Ziroli Bearcats that I've seen have been between 40 and 50 pounds. Because even though it's got the same wingspan as a top flight P-47, it is a big airplane. I mean, it's a stocky little sucker. So it looks a lot bigger than it really is. So I anticipate, well, let's think about this together here. Excuse me. So if we're 20 pounds right now, factor in a 4.5 pound engine, the rest of, all the servos, gear, rest of the radio gear, obviously control services need to go on, fuel tank, batteries, prop. I mean, how much weight do you think I'm still going to add? I would say between 10 and 15 pounds. Yeah, that sounds about right. And this thing is also going to take one heck of a chunk of lead in the nose. It's going to take, my guess, at least 6 pounds in the nose. So that's going to be a bummer. So it's going to be heavy. I hope it works out. I did a lot of reinforcing to the wing, so I'm not... It still makes me nervous, to be honest with you, because nothing is going to change the fact that this is an old airplane. But you just never know. I mean, I think it should be fine, but who knows? I mean, how many ARFs do you see fall apart at the flying field every year? But yet, we keep buying them stinking things. So, nothing is certain. Let's put it that way. So let's see, what's next? I'm kind of out of it. I feel pretty much fine, but I'm just kind of, I'm kind of out in outer space. That's all right. No big deal. Getting ready to start working on the fuselage. I think I'm going to completely finish the wing before I even start the fuselage. In other words, I'm going to get all the servos put in, get the push rods installed. I probably won't do the gear covers just yet because I don't know what type of material I'm gonna make them out of. I have some here. It came with just these ones made out of plywood, but I'm not gonna use that. I'll probably use these as a template because they're the right shape, but I'm probably gonna buy some very thin ABS plastic. And what's nice about that is you can form it, because this obviously is a flat piece that sits over a round wing. Well, by using ABS, I can get this overall this overall shape, but then I can round it. I can make it so when the gear closes that this kind of hugs the bottom of the wing, so it'll seal better and just overall look better. But that's further down the road. I'm still, trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do or how I'm going to reinforce the nose. Let me see if I can get this thing off here. One hand, not easy, but we're going to give it a try. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. Look at that. I'm a pro. Let's get this thing out of the way. So this is a huge design flaw, in my opinion, for the Ziroli Bearcat. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting here, but this is the main firewall right here. And the only thing that holds that firewall to the fuselage is a little bit of stringers and sheeting here, a little bit right here, and the bottom wing mounts, the front wing mounts. That's all that holds the front end of this airplane on. And the engine box, or actual, I guess you'd call it a firewall, this is just glued to the front. I mean, look at this. What a terrible way to do it. But thankfully, my buddy Tom, who built this, he ran a couple bolts going through here and through the firewall itself. But right now, it is loose. But this has been a huge design flaw for the Ziroli Bearcat forever. So many of these have been lost by the nose coming off. Either the engine box breaking off, or what little is holding the nose of this airplane on breaks. So I've come up with a few ideas of how I'm going to do this. I'm going to eliminate all this here. And I'm actually going to cut slits into the firewall, and I'm going to run one on each side, so 2 pieces of plywood, haven't decided thickness, probably 1/4 inch. I'm going to run that through the firewall back to the number 2 bulkhead, which is right about here, and I'm going to build it into that. So then I'll have 2 sides coming out that I'll be able to fine-tune where I want to put my actual firewall for mounting the engine. So now all of that force, that pull, is not going to be directly transmitted to this extremely weak firewall area. It's going to be going inside to the number 2 bulkhead, which will be completely reinforced, glassed in. So it's going to make it a heck of a lot stronger. Because the way this is just is not going to work. The fact that it's held on for the past 30-some years is nothing short of amazing. So that's where we're at with that. I'll be doing a lot of videos when I get to that portion, because it's going to be interesting. Hopefully it holds up. Still got some painting to do here. I got to paint these black, just some small detail stuff. But like I was saying, with very little effort, you can get a really nice look, which is better than just having just a naked flat surface. You can go to town with rivets if you want. If this was a brand new build, I can see it being justifiable, but given the situation, just a little bit of personality is all it needs. But it looks really nice. So that's where we're at. Now that the wing is in good shape, I can start mounting the servos to the doors that I made. I think I made doors. I'm pretty sure I had to have made doors. Yep. Very basic stuff. Aileron left, arrow facing front. Boom. Doors. So I'll start mounting servos to those. And I haven't decided yet, I think I'm going to build new control surfaces. These are just, old and dingy, and I mean, I don't know. If I build them brand new, I don't think it's really going to I don't think it's going to be really any better. I mean, they'll be better quality, but I don't think it's going to be any stronger. But plus, once you coat these things with some fabric covering, it just makes them so strong. So yeah, I'll probably use them. Why not? Ugh. Good stuff. Love this paint. Wow, that was really loud. So that's where we're at, folks. Tell me what you think. I think it's looking good. Just, still nervous, because you never know what's going to happen. I think it should be fine, but now I'm starting to think away from is the plane going to be structurally sound? Is it going to hold up? I think I'm at peace with that. I think we're on the same page. We're doing good. Now I'm just worried about how heavy the stinking thing's going to be. So, and normally weight's not that big a deal, but it's a big deal for me. because the main reason I got rid of my Ziroli P51 was because it was too damn heavy. It's for planes that I keep down here, I can't, if they're too heavy, it's hard for me to get them up the stairs. And I know that seems like a really odd problem for a 35-year-old, but that's the way it is. So hopefully it's not too heavy and I just get discouraged and, you know, give it away to somebody. But you never know. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep plugging away at it. Probably throughout the rest of the week and weekend, I'm going to get the servos put in the wings. I have all the push rod materials. I make my own out of TIG welding rods. But I just ordered some ball links, so I got to wait for those. Then once that's done, gonna start sanding all this old paint off the fuselage. This is gonna be a chore because this actually has rivets put on it. So I gotta sand all that off there. Ugh. But the cockpit is really nice. Don't mind this piece of wood sticking up in there. I gotta get that out of there. But I'm not gonna... It was brought to my attention that I should use a different canopy, preferably one of Phil Clark's canopies, because it does look a lot better. The Ziroli canopy is kind of bulky and bulbous, but me personally, that's what makes it a Ziroli Bearcat, so I like it. So I'm just going to mask around that and do all the rest of the work to the fuselage. I still have to figure out what I'm going to do for... God, this thing is heavy. Just picking it up, oh my God. This thing is so heavy, it's crazy. I need to figure out... just waiting for something to go smash and just come flying out of there. So this is the push rod that used to be for the elevator. We have a piece of 256 wire on standard 40 and 60 size Sullivan knot rod. That's just awful. So I got to get rid of that. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to do, where I'm going to put servos. Ideally, I'd want to put them back here so I can just run short little push rods, but I'm already going to be adding a ton of weight to the nose of this airplane to get it to balance. Do I really want to put servos back here and have to put even more weight in the nose? So I still got to figure that out. There's a lot to be done here. It just made that light just get a heck of a lot brighter. Probably just me. Yuck. So now I'm just kind of dragging on, kind of long-winded here. Put this back down. If I can even get it back down. Holy mackerel. I said, this thing is so heavy. Oh my goodness. But if all goes well, this thing's going to be badass when it's done. Alright, let me get some more work done on it, and we'll bring you guys back. Later.